Hey, what's up? This is John. It is April 11th, 2022, and I'm really excited about this video because it's that time of year where I get to take a retroactive look at the last 3 months or the last quarter and see how I'm doing compared to the life goals I set for myself for 2022. I set a video in February 1st, 2022 to explain what my yearly goals were for this year. And this is a practice I've been following for several years now. If you're new to my YouTube channel, in January of 2019, when I was 40 years old, I introduced my YouTube station with the simple goal of trying to chronicle a journey of improving as many areas of my life as best as I can. And this involved areas dealing with my finances, my career, my travel and lifestyle aspirations, my personal development, my body, my health, all of that. And I've found and developed and followed many great habits that have helped me achieve a great deal since that first video. And one of these habits is thinking about, documenting, and chronicling very detailed goals for the year, and then periodically checking in to make sure I'm holding myself accountable. So it's a really fun time. You can't see me, but in front of me is my dining room table, and there's papers everywhere because I'll be pulling stuff during the video. But what I plan to do is just go through my goals and explain how I'm doing, explain things I've learned, and share some tidbits of information that may help you. And I feel like I have a pretty strong basis to stand on with giving some advice, because I think anyone who commits to improving themselves with whatever it is, in sports, personal life, finances, whatever, if you immerse yourself for many years and find improvements, you learn a lot. And learning, one of the benefits of learning is trying to offer help and sharing. I don't make zero money on YouTube. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here actually to just chronicle my life. I found it helpful doing this. I also enjoy letting my kids see the video. When they get older, they can see what determination and what hard work and grit really looks like. But I find it really therapeutic. I find it fun. And let's get into it. So what I'm planning to do is reading my goals and then giving you information about where I am, what I've achieved till now. I have not met the mark on everything. I'm behind on some things, and I'll also be honest on that. So my 2022 goals were basically to make sure I evolve myself in 7 pillars: career and side gigs, health, nutrition, and body, personal development and spirituality, family and personal relationships, travel and lifestyle, personal finances and investments, public service and charity. And just so you know what you're looking at, I write down, every year I spend a few hours and I write down all the goals that I have for each pillar on all the paper. And I take notes and read these goals once a week. And I take notes on how I'm doing. So I take this process very serious. So what I'm gonna do is read the goals, explain where I'm at, and share some information along the way. So the first one is career and side gigs. This had several goals. The first one dealt with my company's annual bonus payment. So basically my compensation is I get a yearly base salary. I get every year a cash bonus one time, depending on the performance for how I did the prior year. And I get a stock award. And you know, the amount you get also is oftentimes reflected by the scorecard you get. So we get rated on a lettering system. If you get an A, that means you met your mark, you met your objectives, and you should be on par to get your full cash bonus. If you get a double A, that's 125% of your target. If you get a triple A, that's 175% of your target. If you get below an A, you're missing the mark, and it's not an area you want to be in. I've been with my company 6 years. I've gotten a double A every single year. One year I even got a triple A. So my compensation at the company, and more importantly, the kind of people I'm working with, they recognize hard work when they see it. And that's a great motivator. And really quick about me, I work in technology. I work for a company based out of Europe, and the company is really cool. They do several things. They make healthcare products to improve human health. They are in fertility, for example. They make drugs that help women trying to get pregnant. IVF, for example, a lot of the drugs women take, including my wife, for our second child, my company makes. They're in electronics business, so they make a lot of the screen technology on your cell phones and your flat screen TVs. They make a lot of material that goes on computer chips. And there also is a life science branch, which means they make a lot of the equipment and supplies used by researchers in the lab. So really cool company, and been there a little over 6 years. So my goal was I will realize a AA rating for my 2021 performance, and I pat myself on the back because I did get that. I did get a AA rating, which was amazing, and it set me up for quite an amazing compensation. The next goal was I will receive an amazing total compensation payment of at least $215,000, which will be blended from an amazing stock award and a one-time cash bonus. And this will allow me a ton of financial flexibility for 2022 to do things like home renovations, investments, savings, and so on. Kind of interesting how I worded that. I write it in a way where I will get on purpose, because I really believe that you oftentimes attract the things you constantly focus on, the things you think about. And that's why I write it in this way. I write it with certainty. I write it with boldness, and every week when I read this, I really visualize with all these goals how I'm going to do. And I visualize myself already having the goal achieved. And this, I believe, is really important, because if I wrote it like I hope, it would be nice if you're not, really making that as strong of a possibility as you should. So like I said, the first goal I met. I got a AA rating, which I'm so blessed at. The second one, I actually, in mid-Feb, I striked out the $215,000 as I wanted to get something a little bit higher, and higher I did. I got a total award before taxes were removed of $249,000, 318. This is the most I've ever made in my entire life on a one-time cash bonus. I am beyond blessed that this manifested in the way that it did, and not only that, but it went above and beyond what I even estimated. I actually have the paperwork of the cash bonus, and just to show you I'm not bullshitting, this is my statement. I don't know if you could see it. No, you can't really see it. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, that's not my gross pay. Anyway, this was my pay statement. I had received a cash bonus of a little over 101,000. My stock award was a little over 147,000, almost 148, which got me $249,000. And then the money I got home after taxes was a little bit less than $157,000, which, as I said, is amazing. Last year I got $167,000 before taxes, and netted after taxes a little over $103,000. So 103 last year, 156 this year is incredible, and probably with my current job won't expect to get that this year, mostly because my stock award pool drops down a bit next year. But I'm incredibly proud of myself. I thank God for helping me achieve this, and honestly though, I work my butt off, so I'm really pleased to see this, and I feel like I'm deserving of it, because I work very early hours, I work a lot of hours, I make a lot of sacrifice, and when things work out in your favor, it's something to be grateful for, and I'm extremely a grateful person. So that goal was achieved. The next goal was also achieved. My goal was for a base salary to receive a raise in my base salary of at least 4%, or 3%, sorry, which will bring my base salary to over $270,000. I'm blessed to have gotten a 4% raise, so my base salary now increased from low 260s to 273.7 thousand. So that's a base salary that I make per year. And then on top of that, I get a bonus target, which is around 70,000 plus whatever stock I get, which now going forward will probably be around 40, 50,000. So please believe me, guys. I'm not here to brag at all. What I'm trying to do is to show, with these sort of goals, what I'm trying to do is day in and day out, think about how I can put myself in a position to realize these sort of goals. But everyone's goal is going to be different, but you always have to set goals that are bold. Maybe most of the time you don't even know how you're going to achieve the goals, but write down the goals. Read those goals all the time, multiple times a week. Then somehow the dots seem to connect. Maybe it takes you longer than you expect, but the dots always have a way of connecting. So that's my message here is not so much focusing on the number, but focusing on the principle, focusing on the habits, and somehow the results seem to come. So the last goal is more of a placeholder. I've been questioning whether or not it's a good time to evaluate my job situation. I'm very pleased with my current job. You can see the kind of money I'm making, but honestly, money is not everything. And I'm going to be 40. Yeah, I'm going to be 44 years old. It's crazy to hear myself say that, but my goal is to be top dog at a company. And you believe it or not, even though the money I'm making is a lot, I'm not top dog. Top dog is like an executive position, and I'm a level or two below that. And I want to really excel and put myself in a position where I earn around $10 million by the time I'm 60 years old. Like, that's my target, right? So I really want to make as much money as I can while I'm young, while I'm healthy, and putting myself in a position to look for a job I think is a good idea, and use this compensation for this year as a good negotiator for the next job. So the next one is more of a question mark. Do I look for a new job? And that's a maybe. So we'll see and check in with that and see how that goes. The next objective was dealing with networking, and this has two components. First is with LinkedIn, where I said I will spend at least 15 minutes on LinkedIn every day to ensure that I contribute and comment to posts. I create new posts of my own. I look to add people to my professional network. I review job openings and so on. And the next goal was for seminars and conferences, where I will actively pursue, identify, and participate in at least 4 related career conferences to increase my network and gain new relevant knowledge. I've been doing a decent job with LinkedIn. I can't say that every day I'm spending 15 minutes, but I do monitor LinkedIn every day. I do look for people that are suggested to add to my network. I have created a few posts that are mostly dealing with like personal development and good quotes and so on. Actively looking on the job market. So I would say the first few I gave myself an A. This one I probably would give myself a B minus. I probably can do more on this, to be honest, but I think it's important to always look for ways to grow and meet new people, especially with the next one, seminars and conferences. I'm part of several conferences, certain professional groups on LinkedIn, and oftentimes they host virtual conferences, or you get to meet people, watch some leaders in certain sectors give some speeches and experiences, and this is something I want to target. So I wanted to put myself in a position to join several of these conferences, and so far I haven't done any, but that's my goal to do so. Next one deals with YouTube and Instagram. I will continue to post relevant content on both YouTube and Instagram with the goal of obtaining in YouTube at least 1,000 subscribers and posting at least 25 new videos, and Instagram getting around 500 followers. I've been doing okay with YouTube. I mean, again, my goal is not to I'm not here earning money with YouTube and Instagram, but I thought, if I'm going through a journey and I'm telling a story, trying to influence as many people as I can and to give help to as many people as I can is a good idea. And to do that, I want to grow my subscriber base. So 25 videos from many people who are active on YouTube is kind of like a joke. Some people would do that in 2 weeks. But I don't find myself needing to publish so much content. I publish content when I think is relevant and when I think it makes sense. Instagram I'm predominantly using for my health and fitness. I post a lot of videos there with my gym and eating and health habits. So I don't know. This is losing a bit of its luster as it did in the beginning, where I thought maybe this was so important, but we'll see. So I'm faring okay with this. The next one is dealing with phone consultations and side gigs. So this is interesting. On top of my job, over the years, I have found a way to take part in joining certain companies that link people looking for professional advice and acting as an advisor for things that I can talk about and getting paid an hourly rate, quite a healthy hourly rate. So that's what that's about. And the goal is to say, I will continue to work hard and stay active and relevant on GuidePoint Global, Pro Sapient, and Z Intro. These are the 3 market research companies I'm active in. And my goal is at least once a week, I will review open projects and my profile to ensure they are as polished as possible. So my goal is to make as much money as I can on these sites, and I'll give a little bit more insights in a separate page, but basically last year I made almost $8,000 doing these calls. I get an hourly rate ranging anywhere from $600 to $800 per call. So getting paid $800 to give someone professional advice on topics that I'm proficient in is really cool. So I have a goal in another page dealing with my finances, but I wanted to make sure I can stay relevant here and try to keep the pipeline full. Next one is dealing with these side gigs. I wanted to do research and seek to find and join at least 2 new networks this year so that I can increase my earnings potential. So with Z Intro, I ended up getting what's called a personal concierge. So instead of me trying to find projects to sign up for, somebody is looking out for me, and I'm sure they get a cut of whatever payment I get. But so far that hasn't manifested into anything really significant. So they haven't really helped me much. But I added that notation anyway. I did sign up for another company so far called Alpha Sites and did get 1 call. And actually that one worked out pretty nice. I did get another company that I used to work with that I found to reconnect to. They're called Focus Ready. And same thing, they offer phone consultations. And before COVID, I actually used to do focus groups. So they would call you in. It's like a room with a nice conference table and like a 2-way mirror, and they would have maybe 5 or 6 other people, and somebody on the other end of the 2-way mirror would be the one sponsoring the event. And you would sit there and they would, show you pictures of new websites or new software, or they present you with marketing plans and ask your opinions on it. They'd read to you advertisements like something you'd read on a billboard or see in a magazine and ask your impressions about it. It's pretty cool. And at the end, they give you a prepaid gift card for $400, $500. And actually, if you look at my YouTube video, I did record one experience of doing this where I took a train into New York City and did one of these. You can see that. But that's what that's about. And that's what's about this career and side gig. So overall, I'm really proud of where I am, especially with my company bonus payment. That I killed it. And the phone consultations is off to a decent start. The networking I can do better on with LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Not bad. It's a status quo. So that's it. The next one is my favorite goal in life, besides my health. Besides my finances, is health, nutrition, and body. I have come such a long way in my journey of getting into shape since January 2019. It's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing, and I can't express the feeling of all the sacrifice I've made and the results I've seen. So I really get passionate about this topic every time I go through it. So the first goal is nutrition and eating. The goal is I will easily eat clean every day to establish optimal health, energy, and vitality. Eating clean means I eat as best as possible natural foods. I try to limit junk food, chips, pretzels, highly processed foods. But I do eat, protein bars. I eat things like Honey Nut Cheerios, I don't know, chicken bone broth. Like, I try to limit the stuff I eat that are processed, but I'm human. I will do it, but all in moderation. So what I do is I actively count my macros. Macros are calories, fat, protein, and carbohydrates. So I have an app I use called Carbon Diet Coach, CDC. I'm not getting paid or compensated for that. I'm just sharing you the app I use, and it gives you a daily tracker, and I think it works well. So I track my food every day, and that's how I get to stay so lean. It's not easy, but if you got a goal, you got to do something to stick with it. So I'm killing it with that one. Next one, I'm killing it on exercising and strength training. I will easily work out at the gym at least 5 days a week. Check. I will easily perform high intensity training at least 3 days a week. Check. Killing it with that. And then I've got some goals for this year. Bench press. I want to bench press at least 315 pounds by the end of the year. So far, I'm at around 275. So it's not easy when I'm in a cut phase. So meaning I'm trying to lose weight. I'm in a caloric deficit. So being in a caloric deficit and trying to increase your strength is trying to connect magnets when they're both facing each other. It's not easy. So maybe I need to reverse, go on a reversal and start increasing my caloric intake, which I'm sure will help my strength. So right now though, I'm at about 275 for 2 reps. So getting to 315 is a haul, but I think I could do it. I just got to stick with it. The next one is more of a fun goal. I'd say I'm really like doing things like handstands, like calisthenic stuff. So this goal was regarding handstands. It says I will do a handstand hold against the wall for at least 2 minutes by the end of 2022. So this means I will stand in front of a wall, I'll get into a handstand, and my feet will rest against the wall, and I want to be able to hold that position for 2 minutes. Right now I'm easily above a minute, but getting to 2 minutes and doubling that is going to just take a lot of repetition. So again, I think I could do it. I just got to stick with it. Then I have goals for certain body measurements. So I want to increase the muscle mass as follows. For my biceps, I'm currently at 17-inch biceps. I want to get to 18 inches. The middle leg, so the middle of my quads, are currently 21 inches, and I want to get to 23. My my legs in general compared to the rest of my body is probably where I need the most work. So I have amazing calves, but not the quads. I want to get thicker trunks at the quads and really focus on that. Chest is 46.5 inches. I want to get to 47.5, and my abdominals, I currently have a pretty nice 6-pack, but I want to get to an 8-pack. And that just comes with caloric deficits and losing weight and continuing to work your abdominals. So I think I'll definitely get there too. My next goal is around sleep. I will strongly focus on my sleeping regimen in 2022 to ensure I get a minimum of 6 hours of quality sleep. Sleep is so important. Growing up, I didn't really focus too much on my sleep, and when you're young and you've got a lot of vitality and energy, you don't really think it matters. And maybe at that time it does matter, but you don't feel it as much. But I'm in my 40s. Working out, recovering is not as easy as it used to be, especially if I have a muscle ache or some kind of injury. So sleep is so important, and I want to focus on my sleep, and I'm doing a great job of this. People would argue that 6 hours is not enough. I should get 7 or 8 minimum, but 6 hours is good enough for me. And if I can get 6 hours, I normally wake up pretty refreshed pretty quickly. I'm not hitting that snooze after it comes up. And so this is great for your recovery and also losing weight. I don't know if you knew this, but you lose around 200 to 230 calories sleeping. So if you get quality sleep, not only are you recovering, not only is your muscles repairing itself, but you could also burn some calories. The next goal deals with body composition. This is saying I will get at least 6 in-body scans during 2022 to ensure optimal body fat percentage, body weight, skeletal muscle mass, and my BMR, basal metabolic rate. So I have done several videos of what's called an in-body scan. Maybe you can't see this, but an in-body scan is a form that looks like this. And I don't know if you can't read that. I don't know why it doesn't focus on. Yeah, so this is a report. You basically stand on a scale and you take off your socks, you wipe your feet down, you wipe your hands, you stand on a scale that has sensors on the feet, and then you grab these handles that have sensors on the hands, and you hold on to that for about 10 or 15 seconds. During 10 or 15 seconds, it sends these electrical pulses around your body and sort of creates a landscape and understands how much fat you have, how much muscle you have, how much water weight you have, but not only at a total level. It'll say for your left arm, for your right arm, for your left leg, for your right leg, for your torso. And it breaks it all down. And this is an amazing tool to really keep you on a track to try to lose weight. And I've been doing this for many years now. And I use this several times a year to gauge how I'm doing. Stepping on a scale is not a good idea because a scale is just one number. And that number can change for many reasons, but people constantly step on that scale every day and will always focus and hope that that number goes down. But just because it doesn't go down, it doesn't mean it's bad, you know? You can drink a little less water the day before, really work hard at the gym, and your body weight's actually going up or staying the same because you're maybe building more muscle, you know? And this report really shows you, are you building muscle and reducing fat? Are you increasing your fat? Are you not increasing your muscle? And it's a nice kind of check mark for you. It doesn't mean this is perfect. This definitely has room for error. I think the most accurate body composition test, I don't know the name of it, but you sit in a pool of water, like a little tub of water, and it can more accurately depict your body fat percentage. But this is much better than a scale, and it's actually not that bad. There's also a DEXA scan, which uses X-ray technology, but I don't think it's a good idea to get too much radiation. So this is a harmful way. Maybe it's a few percentage point plus or minus accurate, but it's a really good gauge. So I'm doing really well. So I said I wanted to get 6. I got 2 so far, one on Feb 10th and one on April 2nd. The one on April 2nd, I was 180 pounds. I got 7% body fat, and in February, I said I was 5.8% body fat, but I don't know how I put on a lot of fat there. I think it's because I didn't drink a lot of water that day, and maybe I ended up doing it at a different time of day. But anyway, so this is a very important tool. And then in terms of the year, I want to achieve no more than 9% body fat. I want to have no less than 105 pounds of skeletal muscle mass, and I want my total body weight to be no more than 180 pounds. So right now I'm 180 pounds, below 8% body fat, and my skeletal muscle mass was 100 and change. Now it's 97, which isn't bad. I'm 180 pounds, and out of that, almost 100 pounds is muscle. But my goal is to have a little bit more than 100 pounds of muscle, 105 pounds. So I'm doing really well on this one. The last one deals with annual wellness visits for my teeth, for my general health, and for my skin. So this sounds funny, but I do put goals in place to allow me to upkeep with my doctor's visits, because I'm very big proponent of preventative measures and preventative visits. So for dental, for example, I will easily get 2 routine visits and not have any issues with cavities or whatnot. And I will make sure I brush and floss every day. Brush twice a day, floss daily. I'm doing really well with this, with the exception of flossing, although I did go to the dentist on March 23rd and had a great visit, no issues at all. I haven't had a cavity in God knows how many years, so I'm really proud of myself for that. And my next visit is scheduled on September 28th. So far so good with this one. For health, I will easily do at least 1 annual physical showing healthy blood, urine results. I will assess if I should do a colonoscopy this year, because I'm due for one next year, and I'll also assess if I'll go through with getting a vasectomy or not. TMI, I know, but the vasectomy is something I was thinking about doing. Haven't done it, not sure if I'm going to do it, because I'm a wimp. I've never had actually any surgical procedures done in my whole life. Colonoscopy, I'm probably going to skip and wait till next year. And then my physical, I may go back. I had an amazing physical last year. Everything was great. My cholesterol is right on target, but my vitamin D was a little low, and I think it's just because of the wintertime and cold weather, and I haven't been getting as much sunlight. So I did increase my daily vitamins for vitamin D3, and they said, why don't you come back and see after a few months how that looks. I haven't done that yet, but I also haven't been sick, and I don't feel bad, so I'm feeling like the daily vitamin uptick with that is really helping. But at the very least, I'll go in November or December and get an annual physical. And then for dermatology, I started doing this a year or 2 ago, and I think it's a good idea to get your skin checked regularly. As you can see, I'm dark skinned, I'm Middle Eastern, so I'm Syrian and I'm Italian. And I think my aptitude for having skin issues is probably less than most people. My wife is very fair skinned and she burns very easily. I hardly burn, but still I think it's important to constantly get checked out. So that's what I started to do. So I wanted to get 1 routine visit this year and get a full body scan and ensure my skin is healthy, which I did do on March 1st, and thank God all was okay. So back again, I'll do that back again in 1 year. So health, nutrition, and body, I killed it on this one. The next one is going pretty well with the exception of one, and this is dealing with my personal development and spirituality. I am a firm believer, and something you read and see videos about all the time, but people talk about personal development, and it's so true. You got to focus on improving yourself every day. You got to earn a day. You got to wake up with an intention to have an amazing day, with the intention of doing something better than you did yesterday, with learning something, with putting in the work, putting your head on the pillow at night, looking back and saying, yeah, I think I really earned my day, because every day is a blessing. No day is certain. You know, tomorrow you can't predict what's going to happen, so you make the best of what you have. And yeah, I think that's so important. So this first goal is daily gratitude, affirmations, and scribing. So it's a fancy word for writing. So the first goal is every day I will write in my gratitude journal. Killing it. I love this. It's a habit I've been doing for a while now. This is a book. It's I'm grateful every day, and let me read all these and I'll explain it. So every day I will write in my gratitude journal. Every day I will read at least 5 daily affirmation cards. Every week I will write and reflect in my personal journal. I have some videos where I show what it's like for me in the early morning hours. I'm an early riser, and I lay out everything, my meals and this sort of stuff, so that when I wake up, the first hour and a half of my day is pumping my head with positivity, setting goals, dreaming, thinking of positive things, feeling grateful, feeling blessed. And these are some of the tools that I use to help me get there. So the first one is I lay out this book. I do several things in the morning. Some of this stuff you're going to laugh at, but I think it's worked out pretty well for me. So this is a book every single day. I want to show you. It's full. I've been doing this since the beginning of 2021. And every day I write 3 things I'm grateful for. Nothing fancy. It takes 3 minutes. You write the date and write 3 things. And then I reread these a few times, so I feel better about myself, feel better about the day. I try to put myself in a position where the day is going to be amazing. So today, for example, I am grateful for my high-paying job, which is giving me the life that I have. I am grateful for my beautiful wife and my adorable children. I am grateful for my parents, siblings, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, and cousins. But I'm grateful for various things. On April 8th, I am grateful for having access to healthy food and clean water. I am grateful for the clean air to breathe. I am grateful for my amazing and prosperous future, which I know is ahead of me. So this is a great thing I find that I do early in the morning. One of the first things I do is I read this. The next thing I'll do is I will read, I have written down on large index cards. The next thing I do is I take index cards, which I wrote probably about 40 or 50, and I write positive affirmations. So after I write what I'm grateful for, I take whatever the next 5 or 6 cards is, and I spend time and read those really with some strong intentions and some strong feeling. So positive affirmations start to get your mind right. It starts to get your mind being positive, focusing on positive things, stripping out negative things. To give you an example of some of the things on this card, my earning power in my career is limitless. And I'll write it down, and I'll even accentuate or underline words that I feel are the most important. I will practice being more patient, because that's one thing I'm not so good at sometimes. I will always push myself to reach for the stars. I am an honest man with the highest integrity and great character. I will amass a net worth of $10 million by the age of 60. Today will be amazing. I love my wife unconditionally. My home will be paid off in my 50s. I will be financially free by the age of 58, you know? So I read 5 of these things for 2 or 3 minutes, and probably read these 5 2 or 3 times, but really focusing on it. And more importantly, envisioning what the feeling would be like to achieve the goal. What would it feel like to pay off my house? What would it feel like to open up my phone and look at my investments being a total of $10 million? You know, what does it feel like to have a wife and kids who are healthy and that love me? You know, focusing on this stuff is extremely important, and I do this in the beginning of the day. So after I write down what I'm grateful for, I read 5 of these cards. The next thing I'll do is I'll actually you'll laugh at this one. I have a check which is made out to myself. It's got $1 million, and it's written out with the date of December 31st of this year. Every morning I look at this check and I say to myself, I don't know how, but sometime between now and the end of this year, I will be compensated a minimum of $1 million. And I think about what it would literally be like to get that check, depositing it into my bank and seeing my account balance being $1 million higher, and the doors that can open. But actually, it's not $1 million. It's probably like 600 grand after taxes. But you see my point. The last thing I do, which I've been doing for a year now, is boom. That is Zac Efron in Baywatch, and I just use that to remind myself for all the sacrifice I do every day with going to the gym, for all the sacrifice with my diet. It is with the goal of walking around looking like that, and I'm not that far from that. Maybe with the exception of some of the abs, I've come an amazingly long way, and I'm so proud of myself. So this is the first 20 minutes of my day, and that's what that first goal is. The second thing I do is once a week, which I love this habit, I highly encourage people to do it, is I write in a journal. I've been doing this for, I don't know, a while now. The very, very first entry I wrote in here was back in 2019 when I was reading Tony Robbins' book, Awaken the Giant Within. And I then just evolved it to, take notes, quotes, stories, things going on in my life, things I'm proud of, things I'm happy about, things that are making me upset, things that are making me sad, things I'm hopeful for. Here's when my son was born and how I'm feeling, or here's when we were going through our IVF and that finally being successful. Business trips, how I'm feeling, Frankfurt. Even back then, I'm setting targets about how much money I want to gain, and happiness of vacations. Here's a quote: "You don't own your job. Jobs are owned by companies. You own your career." So once a week, I'll write whatever's on my mind, and it doesn't have to be like a Shakespeare entry. It could be something simple, just something that I can look back on, and having a library of thoughts documented, I think is really cool. And then the last thing, I keep saying that, really the last thing is empowering questions. I have a list of 15 empowering questions, and I pick 2 of these, and I read and answer 2 of these every morning. Some of the examples: what do you love most about yourself? What are you happy about? What are you grateful for? What do you do really well? Why are you an amazing person? Is there anyone you should or need to forgive? What does God mean in your life? What does it mean to be an amazing parent? I ask myself these questions, and I spend a minute answering them. You would be amazed. After 30 minutes of writing what you're grateful for, reading affirmation cards, looking at a picture of the body you want, thinking about getting a check of $1 million, and then reading out loud empowering questions, you'd be amazed how you feel after doing that. And that really sets up your day for a really good start. So, long answer, but I wanted you to really get a behind the scenes view, which is one of my reasons why I do these videos, to give you kind of insights about what it means for this sort of goal, and how I hope you can see how it can help really put you in the right mindset to achieve what you want, to get you on track if you're falling off track, and really helping you connect dots where you don't know how the dots are going to connect to begin with. Next is reading. Absolute worst goal of mine. Now and always been, I don't have an explanation. My reading goal is I will overcome my poor reading habits and easily read at least 10 books in 2022, either digital or hard copy, which will allow me to increase my knowledge, learn, and broaden my horizons. I started off the year doing well. I bought a Kindle book, which is the autobiography of Andrew Carnegie. Got halfway done, and I'm still halfway done. It's April. Yeah, first week in April, and I've not even finished reading one book. It's really embarrassing, and I don't have an explanation. I did read a few magazines, like health magazines, but nothing with, which did help me learn some fitness related stuff, but I really want to read and learn more about people, and I just can't sit down and do it. I don't have an explanation. It bothers me, but it's a poor habit I have, and I can't seem to shake. So what am I going to do? I'll be honest. Next is doing really good at is an evening ritual. So I gave you insights to what my morning ritual is. My evening ritual is I will perform my evening ritual at least 5 days a week in order to set my priorities for the following day, acknowledge all of my blessings, and recognize my accomplishments from the current day. Doing really well. I always spend at least 10 minutes laying in bed and visualizing all of the things that went well that day. I really feel proud of the hard work I did, feel proud of the effort I put in, really feeling like I poured it on and I earned that day, because, every day that goes by is one less day you're on the earth. And we don't know when our last day will be. So trying to treat your days as best as you can, as productive as you can, and really reminiscing about that at the end of the day is really important. And also, if there's really important priorities for the following day, I visualize achieving those. It's a bit of what my nightly routine is. And then as well, I have something called a vision board, which I look at twice a week. A vision board is just literally a big poster board. On that poster board is probably about 12 or 15 pictures, and it's pictures of things I want to manifest in my life, what my body I want to look like, places I want to visit. I want a black Lamborghini Huracan convertible with a tan interior. I want a big, beautiful LBI summer home on the beach, which I can rent out and have as a rental property. I visualize what it looks like to be an amazing parent. I visualize what I want to do with certain big renovations on my house. So again, the goal is to keep following your dreams, keeping your goals front and center. And these are the little tools that I've learned by reading or following others to help me get there. And a vision board is something I do twice a week and takes 5 minutes. While I'm brushing my teeth, I'll literally just sit there and stare at the board, think about what it means to acquire those things, and it's very helpful. Next one is doing very well also. It's about my religion and God. Every day I will connect with God through either prayer, gratitude, or conversation. I pray multiple times a day before every meal. I pray in the morning. I pray at night. I'm talking to God multiple times a day, something I really believe in, and doing good with that. The next one is every night my wife and I will say prayers with our daughter before bedtime. This is a great tradition. We've been doing this for many years. Every night before we go to sleep, we say the Our Father and a Hail Mary. We're Roman Catholic, if you haven't guessed, and we really think this is a great habit, and it's a great moment to a great habit to do before we go to sleep. And even now, something our 2-year-old son, he'll start murmuring the prayers and making some noises that sound like he's trying to repeat what we're saying. And for us, we really enjoy this. The next goal is actually achieved, which is our daughter goes to a weekly religious school once a week, and this just ended on April 5th. So the goal was my wife and I will actively support our daughter with her weekly religious studies. So we were able to achieve this, and this is done. And the last one is I would ideally like, which isn't going well, I would ideally like to attend church at least once a month, assuming there are no COVID restrictions in place. There are no COVID restrictions in place, with the exceptions, I think, of wearing a mask. I don't remember. But while I attend church on my own during the weekend, where I'll go in, I'll say a prayer, light a candle. We haven't gone as a family, I don't know, 5 months. And it really bothers me. Sure, it's not easy with a 2-year-old, keeping him still for 50 minutes. But it's no excuse. We should go there. It's a nice tradition, I think, as a family, and something good that kids should have growing up, my opinion. And we don't do it so far in the year, and something we have to pick up the slack on. And the last one is reviewing goals. I will review my life goals at least once a week, which is literally like I'm doing with you today. I will just read these once a week, see how I'm doing, take notes of things, see how I'm doing, check off things that I succeeded on, and it's a way to keep me on track. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Try to speed it up. Next is family and personal relationships. My goal here is to make sure I stay focused on my loved ones, my time, my energy, my experiences. So I write goals around that. First is my wife. Every day I will ensure I express love and appreciation for my beautiful wife. I'll do things like leave love letters around the house. Every morning I make a cup of coffee. 3 or 4 days a week I'll write a little love note for my wife because she has a cup of coffee for the very first thing in the morning. Most of the time I'll leave a cup out. We have an espresso machine, so I'll take out a cup, I'll put an espresso pod there, I'll write a little note, just do little things like that. And reading these goals, keeps me honest and trying to do little things like that. Because sometimes you can get so wrapped up in your life, stress of a job, stress of, whatever else you have going on with your kids and finances, right? So you don't want to lose sight of the little things in life. And these are the reason I write these goals down. So far, so good with that one. The next one is at least once a month, I will plan a nice dinner out together with my wife so we can maintain sufficient alone time. Not easy having 2 kids. And then on the back, you'll see I have a table, and I try to take notes. at the end, as the year goes on, I can think about these nice memories. So every month, if I want to do something nice, I write, what did I do? In February 9th, we went to a really nice dinner for Valentine's Day at a nice restaurant on the water called Serena. On the 18th, we took a family trip to Boston. In March 10th, we took a trip down to Atlantic City. I put a video on that on YouTube. On March 13th, we went out for a brunch with some other people at a place called the Atlantic House. This month, we have a dinner date planned with another couple in the next 2 weeks. We're going to go to Aruba on April 28th for 5 nights, which I can't wait. So again, this is what I do. I try to take notes, and now I do this with the rest of my family. For my daughter, every day I will ensure I express my love and affection to my amazing daughter. Same thing. Many times I'll write little notes. Daddy loves you. Smile. Today will be an amazing day. You're an amazing, beautiful person. I'll write these little sticky notes. I have some lying around. Yeah. So I use these sticky notes, and I'll just leave them around the house, on her mirror, on her bed stand, where her clothes are laid out for school. So I think that's really cool. Next is I'll support my daughter with her school studies. My daughter's doing amazing in school so far. She's getting the help of a tutor. She's going in for extra help. During COVID, school studies was hard. My wife and I were spending a lot of time doing that. So lately she's been doing really well and not actually needing my help. But if she did, I would definitely be there to help her. Next is I'll practice to be more patient and always strive to motivate my daughter to do her best in life. By nature, I can get impatient pretty quick. And it's something I try to work on. By being impatient, I mean I get worked up kind of quickly. And, with kids, sometimes I don't have the patience of, the goofing around or, not focusing on something. And I got to remember, they're kids. But at some point, she's 8 years old. At some point, you got to start treating them like an adult if you want them to grow up and be responsible, to be well-behaved, to have good manners, be respectful of people, be grateful. So those are the things I got to keep in mind, which is why I wrote that down, being patient. And then lastly, I will ensure to plan daddy-daughter time at least one time a month. So with Cammie so far, doing a decent job. Cameron in February, on the 12th, we went out to lunch together to Applebee's, which was a lot of fun. In March, she came with me to church on March 2nd, and we did Ash Wednesday together. So we went to church together for that, which is really nice. On the 27th, I actually took her and her friend to a really cool place called Airplay, which is a huge trampoline park. Wasn't daddy-daughter time per se, but I ended up helping do something fun with her friend. And that was a lot of fun. And actually yesterday, I should write this down, April 10th, I took her and her friends to a place called Jungle Gym and Jane. Again, not just an alone time together, but it was a really big, fun place where they have a huge indoor jungle gym, and she thought that was really nice that I treated her and her friends to that. So I'll capture that as an event. So far so good. My son. Every day I will ensure I express my love, affection to my amazing son. My son's a little over 2. I will ensure to dedicate time each day to play with him. I'm so fortunate that I work from home, so I'm always around the house. I'm playing with him. I'm putting him down at night. I'm helping him with my wife with feeding and time and playing with him in his playroom. I will ensure to plan father-son time at least once a month. I haven't logged anything specific with this per se, mostly due to it's cold outside. What am I going to do? I'm not going to drive him to the mall, or can't take him to a movie. I suppose I could take him for a bite to eat at a restaurant, but probably it would be really hard, and I probably couldn't keep him under control. I don't know, or keep his attention going with coloring books and toys and stuff. But I'm definitely going to look to do that much better when the weather gets nicer. I will go for walks with him. I'll take him down to the beach, walk along the boardwalk. We have a cart that's remote control. We can sit in and drive around the block. We'll do that sort of thing. Play outside on our swing set, trampoline. Next one is family related. So weekly, I will ensure that I keep regularly in touch with my parents and my siblings. I actually put reminders on my phone to make sure I call my parents. Luckily, they all live within 10 minutes away, but sometimes you can go a few days without talking to each other, and I don't like that. I want to make sure I can keep in touch with people as much as possible. Next is I'll be conscious to support the transition my parents will likely go through this year, because they're going to be looking to move out of their home, which they've been living in for over 30 years. And actually, it looks like we're looking to sell it to my sister, who's engaged and going to be married next year. So I think it's really cool that my sister is looking to buy the home we grew up in. But it's a big move for my parents. They got a lot of crap. They're very emotionally invested in the house, but they're also agreeing like now's the time. They want to downsize. They don't want the upkeep. They want to save money in property taxes and upkeep and yard work and this and that. So I want to help them through that. I know it's probably very stressful. The next is ideally once a month, I will strive to plan a quote unquote guys lunch with my dad and my brother. And here we've been doing a decent job. My brother and my dad would normally try to get out and do something, or as a family get together. So every month so far, we've been doing something like this. On February 6th, we had actually all went to my cousin who recently moved to another area in New Jersey, and that was really nice to get to see them and their new home. On the 25th of February, we had a pizza night at my sister, and this included my wife, her sister, husband, and their son. My aunt's there, and my sister's fiance. The kids were there. March 27th, we had lunch at MJ's, which is a restaurant, with my brother and my dad, which was a really nice time with them. In April, on April 8th, we had pizza at my sister-in-law's and her husband. They invited people over, which included my sister, her daughter, my in-laws, my family. So again, these are the kinds of things, they sound really elementary, but we all know how fast time goes. If you don't focus on making the time, focus on planning, focus on getting together, months and weeks can go by, and you're going to lose all that precious time. That's why I write these goals. And the last one is at least twice a month, I will ensure that I regularly keep in touch with my cousins, aunts, and uncles. I have done a decent job with this. I called my aunt 2 weeks ago to say hi, and we got a chance to catch up. I have another aunt who I don't speak too much with, or as often with. I spoke to her in January. I have cousins who we keep in touch with fairly well. They're always so thoughtful in inviting us over for holidays. That just timing doesn't seem to work out. So ideally, I'd love to get together with my cousins and their families this summer, which would be really great. Next deals with close friends. Weekly, I will ensure I keep in touch with close friends. At least once a month, at least once every 2 months, ideally, I'd like to hang out, get together with coffee, do drinks, get together for lunch. And lastly, I will aim to rekindle a few friendships that have fell off. So this is about, staying in touch with close friends. It's not easy lately with people having families and kids. I got one buddy who's now looking at colleges for his kids. He got married early and had kids early, and he's doing that, which is crazy. But I find it so important to keep close friends you have close. Yeah, to keep friends you have that are close to you, to keep them close, because time can go by as well, and you can lose touch with people. And I have lost touch with some friends, some of which are intentional, just because there's drama. Others, not intentional, and I wanted to get an improvement there. One actually was my roommate from college, my buddy Brian. We actually just got together on March 25th. I went to visit him in Pennsylvania, and we went to visit our old college, which I graduated from in the year 2000. That was awesome. And there's a couple other guys I'm talking to who I haven't spoken to in a while and are trying to arrange a get-together soon. So, again, personally speaking, it's great to surround yourself with people you enjoy, people that bring you up, and people you're happy with, and close friends. And this is why I write this goal, to keep that in focus. And lastly, there's a goal around the people I used to work with 20-something years ago who I still keep in touch with today. Every year we get together for the Christmas dinner. We'll do a golf outing. I keep in touch regularly on the Signal text messaging app. And this is just to make sure this is nurtured. So this is dealing with that. I will ensure to keep regular in contact with my old coworkers. I will ensure that we do a golf outing, which I normally help plan in the summertime. We're targeting June 16th for that now. And I'll ensure that I participate in the annual Christmas dinner, which again, we've been doing for about 20 years. It's amazing having guys you work with in this sort of context. I've traveled with them around the world. Some of these guys to places like Spain and Puerto Rico and all around Europe and Amsterdam and Holland and Belgium and Brussels, UK. Did Vegas a few times with them. It's really great. All right, so next is travel and lifestyle. Wow, this is like one of my longest videos. Normally this is around 45, 50 minutes, so I gotta try to pick up the pace here. Travel and lifestyle. First is our annual LBI summer rental. In August 2022, I will easily finance a summer rental in LBI at a beautiful home for 7 days. You can check my YouTube videos. We've done this for several years now. I've chronicled some of the houses we've stayed at. LBI is Long Beach Island. It's a great summer location and summer spot about an hour-ish away from our home. And every year we try to book a nice place with my wife and her siblings and families. So this is booked. We're psyched about it. It's booked to take place August 6th to the 13th. We just have a final down payment to leave in July 16th. So we're excited that this is on track. The next goal was around traveling to Boston, where my brother-in-law lives with his wife and daughter. We don't see them often, and we don't travel to them often. They're normally traveling here. So we thought it was very important to make a trip up, which we did. We went there February 18th to the 20th. I'm really proud that we were able to do this. We flew. I have to put the video up. I didn't put the video on for that one, but I want to do that. It was very hard flying with a 2-year-old, but we made it. Stayed at a nice hotel. We flew United Airlines, and it worked out well. It was a great weekend. We had a lot of fun, so I'm really proud of that. Next is family vacation. Before the end of June, my wife and I will successfully plan a vacation, either together or as a family, for at least 4 nights, anywhere that's warm and beautiful. I'm so proud that this one is already booked, but my wife and I decided to do it together. Our 10-year wedding anniversary is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. We decided we're going to go to Aruba. So we're booked to go to Aruba on April 28th till May 3rd. To Aruba, staying in a beautiful Marriott. Instead of 4 nights, I scratched that off and we were doing 5 nights. We're staying at a nice hotel, as I said. I'm a platinum member, which is almost the top tier you can get as a preferred member of the Starwood's property. So I'm hopeful to get upgraded to a really nice suite. We're flying first class with United. So really blessed we're able to do this, and I'll definitely chronicle that trip. And I'm really happy we're able to fulfill this goal. The next goal is still to be confirmed, but we wanted to do something nice for Christmas. So the goal is before the end of 2022, I'll successfully plan a weekend trip to during the Christmas season. For example, somewhere in Pennsylvania, we went to a place last year called Hershey, which is where Hershey chocolate's made. We went in the past, but not for Christmas, to a beautiful resort called Crystal Springs, which is in North Jersey. It's a beautiful property. So we want to do this again, to be confirmed. The last one is home renovations. Every year we try to do something good to our home. And this year we're off to a really good start. And maybe in another video I can show you some examples of what we're doing. But I have what I've called minimum goals, and then I have something called bold or stretch goals. Now some of this has changed because the prices of things, as you know, everything is so high. Cost of inflation is there. Price of wood. Price of everything is up. So some we did, and it looks amazing. Some we had to defer. So let's go through the goals and I'll explain where I'm at. The first one is we want to finish our basement. We have a pretty big basement, like 1,300 square feet, high 9-foot ceilings, but it's unfinished. It's all concrete and, concrete floor, concrete walls. So we spent a lot of time sizing and scoping out the job. In the end, it looks like it was going to cost us around $65,000. And it still didn't give us everything we want, so we nixed it. It's just not worth it. Next one was renovating our living room, which we did do. We did that in March. It looks amazing. We put in custom bookshelves, a new electric fireplace, new molding. It really came out great. So that's all done, painted, ready to go. Next one is we wanted to redo the layout and improve our family room, which we did do. We did all new wainscot moldings, which is like the framing along the walls, the nice chair rail, thicker molding. We put in some benches underneath, custom benches underneath our window with some nice cabinets, painted, looks amazing. The next goal is still to be done, which is we want to install new nice like metal handrails and upgrading our steps to the front door. I want to also do some new uplighting in our front house. So that's still to be done. The next two were done. We want to fully paint the area of the house downstairs, which we did do. The entire area where our kitchen and family room was fully painted. We ordered and received new family room furniture. We reconfigured our whole family room. We redid our family room in the sense of putting a new we mounted a new TV above our fireplace, which has decorative molding, and we bought the new Samsung frame TV, which looks like a picture frame, and we put a cool bezel around it. So we actually, during the time we don't use the TV, there's a painting showing, and it looks like a frame on the wall. But it also is a TV. It's a really cool talking piece. Really polishes up the room really nice. So really happy about that one. I think my wife got home, so you're going to hear a bit of noise from my dog barking. The stretch goals. Well, we wanted to install a beautiful outdoor pond or water feature in our backyard. Maybe we're going to still do that. We wanted to install an outdoor pavilion home, outdoor fireplace, outdoor kitchen. We actually may do this now that we decided not to do the basement. So we're in talks with someone to help us figure this one out. And I'd love to be able to do maybe not all, but most of that. And then we're also looking to renovate our laundry room. Right now our laundry room is smaller. It has side-by-side washer dryer. The space is a little tight, so we're really now looking to get a stackable washer and dryer, put some custom shelves in, some custom molding on the wall, areas where a bench you can sit down on. So yeah, so far so good here. Most of the stuff's on track, and I'm really proud that we've been able to continue to keep some traditions going with the family vacations, upgrading and polishing our home. So I'm really proud and grateful for that. Last two. Yeah. Next one is dealing with personal finances and investments. So this is an interesting page. Here it keeps track of my financial situation, my goals. I check in during the year, and it's a really useful tool. So first is increasing my personal assets. By the end of 2022, I want to increase the value of all my assets by a minimum of $200,000. Last year I killed this one, mostly due because the market killed it. I increased, I think, over 300,000 if I'm not mistaken, when putting together all my savings, everything. $200,000, and my goal is for this year. Let's see. I will constantly track investments and allocations across my 401k, brokerage accounts, my life insurance, crypto, and so on. I constantly am keeping track of things, making investment decisions. I don't have a financial planner, but I try to do the best on my own, which so far is pretty good. You'll see some examples of my net worth in a moment. Debt reduction. Before the end of May 2022, I will eliminate all of my credit card debt and then assess what to do with some student loans. So I'm really proud that by March 11th, 2022, I have paid off every dime of credit card debt. Just left a small balance on one card because it was interest free and I didn't feel I needed to spend a few $1,000s to pay that off. I'm good for a year interest free, so I pay that off a little bit a month and I'll worry about that next year. So thank God that's done, and really a nice burden off my shoulders. Side gig revenue. So you heard me say early on I do these phone consultations. So I wanted to keep that momentum going. So by the end of this year, I will easily earn supplemental income of at least $7,500 through those phone consultations. And what I'll do is on the back, I'll just literally keep track of how I do. And so far, I'm at $3,996. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total events. I wouldn't call them calls. Some of these are calls. Some of these are surveys. Some of these actually, I acted as an advisor for a private equity company and ended up getting almost $2,000 just from that alone. I was making an hourly rate of $275 an hour. So I booked enough hours to accommodate around $1,700. The rest came from calls. The most recent one I was very proud of. The most recent one was March 23rd with a company called Prosabient. I ended up helping these guys very well, and my hourly rate is $650, and in the end they ended up giving me $800 for the hour because of the amount of value I gave. So for one call, 1 hour, I ended up getting, actually it was a little bit more than the hour, the call went a little bit more, and I got, for one call, I spent a little over an hour of my time, I got compensated $947. So I want to make $7,500. Here we are in April, and I'm already at $4,000. So it looks like I'm on track with that one. Last one, strategic business investments. I will continuously evaluate opportunities to make investments either in real estate and or businesses with the goal of completing at least 2 sizable investments this year. I would love to get into real estate. With inflation the way that it is, owning land, owning real estate, owning raw materials of some kind seems to be a really wise idea. And besides my primary home, I don't own real estate. I know the market's a little tricky. Home prices are now through the roof. Interest rates have gone up tremendously. Rental market's a bit spotty, but still, I think in the long term, owning a home and renting it out and having a rental property is a wise idea, and maybe even partnering with someone to split the risk. But that's the goal. And really what I do, and you can see kind of this table here, I have how I ended last year with all the different channels of revenue I have, or savings. And then 4 times a year, I'll check in. And it's a really cool tool. I've been doing this for many years. So to give you an example, for my 401k, I'll be able to see that on January 1st, my 401k, and not just my 401k, but I also have a rollover IRA, totaled almost $901,000. That was an 18% increase during the year 2021. This year, market's down a bit. I'm down 6%, and it's from 900 down to 886. Rollover IRA at 63 grand. I've so far matched. I so far put and have received match and profit sharing of almost $30,000 in my 401k in April. Since I'm only in early April, and already I've been able to contribute almost $30,000 to that 401k, which mostly came to the help of that cash bonus and profit sharing, which is $8,000 I get once a year. But I really track this stuff very carefully and try to put myself in a position to succeed. So I have a retirement account. I have a whole life cash value life insurance plan that has a cash value of 20 grand. I opened up a life insurance plan for my kids, and I'll be looking to give that to them when they're older. And I have an education fund for my kids, which has a total value of a little over $10,000. I have various bank accounts, multiple different bank accounts and savings accounts, which are a little over 176,000. I have a cryptocurrency balance, a little over 95,000, which now down. It's amazing. March 31st, it was 96,000. Today, I think it was like 81. I have a brokerage account with TD Ameritrade, which was 44,000 on March 31st. It's now down to like 42, 43. And I have about $300,000 equity in my home. So all of this combined is how I'm sort of measuring myself, and I try to keep a constant focus on saving money every month, tracking things, sometimes rebalancing my portfolio, and so far so good with that. All right, last goal, and we are pushing almost an hour and 40 minutes. This is crazy. Last goal is public service and charity. So I really try my best where I can to donate to charity and to donate my time. And I last year didn't do a great job with public service. Most of the year was due to COVID reasons. The last part of the year probably being too lazy. I'm sure I could have found ways to donate my time and volunteer, but I didn't. This year I want to make sure I do that. But I did do a great job with charitable contributions last year. I think I donated almost $8,000 to various causes. This year the goal was by the end of 2022, I will easily donate at least $6,500 to charity and church, and also leverage my company's charitable match program, since they match up to $1,000. So if I donated $1,000, they'll match that to whatever I'd like, as long as it's a valid and legitimate charitable company. So this one I need to find the way. I ended up unfortunately owing the government $14,000 in taxes, which I was not expecting this year, and that really ate into my savings target. So I was hoping to write all these checks in the last month or so for these causes, but I haven't yet because I need to figure out the right way to finance these. So far it's still a to-do. What I do donate to regularly is I'll donate regularly every month to our church, $100, $25 a week. So that'll be a little over $1,200 for the year. And every month I donate $40 to an organization called Charity Water, which brings and delivers healthy water and builds wells to areas of the world that don't have access to clean water. So those are like kind of my standards. And then on top of that, we normally donate to St. Jude, to the ASPCA, and other various causes. So I need to work through the charitable donation part besides the church and charity water, and still to come. For public service and giving back, my goal by the end of 2022 is aim to donate about 10 hours of my time volunteering, and maybe even trying to involve the family in such events. So same thing here. I haven't done any volunteer work yet, but do keep an eye out for opportunities to do something, whether it's, helping at a senior home. I did that one year where I delivered food to underprivileged people in our general area. Stuff like that I want to look out for more and see how and where I can volunteer time, and also, where possible, involve the kids, because I think it's important to give back. It's important to feel the experience of giving back and helping others, and that's a really interesting and fun thing to do. Maybe when the weather's warmer, this would be something to open up more doors on. That is all. This was the longest review I think I've done ever, but I want to know that you can see what I do. I do this every week. I've been doing this for 4 years. Nothing important in life comes easy. There's always habits and breadcrumbs when you follow the habits of successful people, and these are some of the things that I've done. I've found goal setting, monitoring your finances, being on a track for healthy living, finding daily habits in the morning to get your mind right. I highly encourage people to really take this seriously and to look at this in a similar way. I will look to do this again at the end of July, so early August. We'll check in and see how we did on some of these goals. And that's it. So if you stuck with this, God bless. And that's it, guys. I wish you well. Have a great day. Bye.